Right. What about Hegseth as well? I mean, he said in the last couple of days that he would have ordered this, double tap, this double strike. But that has been quite controversial, hasn't it?
It has been. And here again, this is interesting to me as an observer because it's one of the places that the Republican Party on the Hill, the Senate and the House, have started to push back a little bit on the Trump administration. Up until this point, the only place that the Republicans, the other elected Republicans, have really pushed back on Donald Trump was on the Epstein files. So we saw how that ended. But now you've got some very high profile Republican senators and high profile Republican House members starting to call Hegseth's decision making, especially regarding these Venezuelan drug boats, into question. Again, it's not a crack yet. It's not a fissure in the party, but it is one of those places that bears watching because as we get closer and closer to the midterms, more and more Republicans might decide that maybe 100% sort of loyalty to Donald Trump isn't as good politically as maybe 95.
Mick, just hold tight there for a second. Pam Bondi is making a few comments.
I want to ask you something on a whole different topic. The National Guardsmen who were killed
Yes.
in D.C.
Thank
Are
you.
there any plans to posthumously raise the rank to somehow honor the National Guardsmen who here?
So thank you for asking that. Sarah's family, they're amazing, and I don't know how they're handling this and dealing with the grief, but I'll talk to the Guard about that. I know they have something special in mind for her and for Andy. I spent today with my husband in the hospital with Andy's family, and I can report Andy Wolf, of course, our guardsman who was shot, and he's remarkable. He's a miracle. I was with the doctors. I was with the family. He's a linesman full-time in West Virginia, and there were about 10 linesmen there from West Virginia with his family. Andy moves. He hugged his father last night. So he is making remarkable strides, and when he gets a little better, we're going to have him move to Walter Reed for his therapy, and hopefully he will be making a full recovery. So thank you for asking about them, and please pray for Sarah's family, and please pray for Melody and Jason Wolf and Andy's sister and brother and niece and all of his friends. Power prayer. Thank you all. Thank you.
Yeah, Pam Bondi there talking about, she's of course the US Attorney General, talking about the National Guards that were shot in Washington DC. Mick Mulvaney, one has died. Of course, we brought that to our viewers last week. Another still in a critical condition. This has been one of those moments, I think, in DC but around the country that has been not entirely a divisive moment, but it's certainly been one that Trump has used to turn up the volume on immigration, right?
You probably can't blame him. I mean, this is an extraordinarily unusual circumstance. This was the alleged assailant, the alleged murderer now, supposedly worked with us in Afghanistan, fought on our side against the Taliban, and came to the United States under a program designed to make sure that people who were at risk if they stayed because of their closeness to us, they allow them to come to the United States. So these are supposed to be the very best of the best. And something happened here. I don't know if we still don't know yet if it was PTSD, some type of other mental issues. There's some discussion now whether or not the Taliban was blackmailing this guy with other family members that are still back home in Afghanistan. So there's still a good bit to find out. But yeah, it shouldn't surprise anybody that a very, very high profile, terrible event in Washington, D.C., so close to the White House, literally 2 blocks to the White House, isn't causing sort of a larger discussion about our immigration programs. And again, this is not illegal immigration. This was legal immigration. So much of what we talk about, Laura, is what's happening on the southern border, people coming in the country illegally. That's not this. This is an entirely different conversation. And yeah, it's not going to end. There's going to be a lot of focus on this particular event, and I think rightly so.
Thanks so much for your time, as always.